Hi, I'm Mary, and I have been playing sports since probably about the age of 2. But I really love sports. I played basketball, soccer, and ran 6 marathons. I'm on the church softball team. I've been on the church softball team for about 7 years. I got involved through Eric. He was actually at the Whiz Kids tutoring when it very first started, like 15 years ago, and I happened to be on their dinner crew. Eric was a tutor at the time, and he actually, I think, was going through line to pick up dinner, and he said something about church softball. Well, gosh forbid, bing, my ears were like, oh wait, somebody said softball. So that's how I got involved.
So let's talk about this team specifically. Let's talk about camaraderie. What makes this team and the softball team so special to you, and why you keep coming back?
Acceptance. I have a disability. And to be able to play on this team, it means something to me. Am I good? No, I'm not, but I'm just out here kicking it with the guys. And it's something fun to do on a Monday night. I mean, why should you sit at home? I mean, if anybody wants to play, come join us. We're a great group of guys and a couple of gals. Can I tell the story, like the story, the story about how I knew I was supposed to do this? Okay, so FCA, Fellowship Christian Athletes. We are a faith-based and sports-based organization. It just so happened that last April, almost to the year to the day, Matt, and I knew Matt also through Anderson Hills because I knew he was the youth group leader, and then he left to go to FCA. I emailed Matt and he said, I said, do you have any job openings? And he came back and said, yeah, something with the computers, and I don't know exactly what it was. I said, I don't know about this one. And then he came back like a week later and said, hey, we have this All Abilities program, why not? So he gave me like a 3-minute, one of those 3-minute videos, and I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm like, this is it, oh my Lanta, this is great. And he said, are you okay with raising your own funds? I said, yeah, that's not a problem, whatever, I got it. And wouldn't you know it, that same day, I ran across the street to Kroger to get some stuff for myself, actually. And if anybody's seen me run, pew, and it's hard for me to stop, I actually ended up stopping in my tracks, because you'll never guess what I found was a $5 bill. And I stopped, and I'm staring at it, and I'm looking up, and I'm staring at it, and then finally I picked it up. I'll never forget, I just had it in my hand, and I'm like, And I'm sure the people at Beachmont were like, Mary, put it in your pocket, lady. Don't worry, I put it in the pocket. But that is something that I knew that was my funds to start my funds. And then that same day, later on, I was scrolling through Facebook, as everybody does, and Joyce Meyer comes on and she says, how do you know you're being called to serve? Whoa, time out. She said, you will have a passion, a desire, and you will sacrifice. I was like, wow, okay. Then later on, then like 2 days later, it really just was like, man, what is that song that says, here I am, Lord, send me? And looked it up, and I was sitting there listening to the music, and I thought, wow, this is it. I really liked what the song had to say. It says, "Here I am, send me." So then, wouldn't you know it, not once but twice later on that week, I saw that verse. And then later on, then it was that next Monday, and I went over to Eric's house, speaking of Eric, to come to baseball, actually. And I must have been early. And he's like, "Oh, hey, Mayor, come on in." So I came on in, and I'm like, "Eric, where did you get that?" He's like, "What?" I'm like, "That sticker." And he's like, "I was at a golf outing." I'm like, okay, because I got a story to tell you, Eric. So that's how that was another part of the picture as to where I knew I'm being called to serve. Within that week time frame, I knew I was being called to go serve.